Hey everyone, it's Christina, Nomad Xtina, coming to you from the swing in my parents' front yard. That house behind me would be our neighbors. I wanted to shoot a quick intro and talk about my first rig, which was a 2001 Chevy Roadtrek 200 popular model. That particular Roadtrek doesn't have the regular metal van body. It was built on a cutaway chassis and had a fiberglass body, and it was about 21 feet long. And I bought that Roadtrek I wouldn't quite call it a midlife crisis. I had been wanting to have a van or RV for many years. I've been dreaming of having a nomadic lifestyle really since I was in college or earlier. I would see RVs on the road. I remember as a kid watching Escape to Witch Mountain, that old movie, and the old guy had his RV, and I thought, oh my God, that is so cool. One day that will be me. Anyway, I had some personal crap going on in my life. Which I shouldn't even talk about it on here. But I was browsing the RV ads every single night. I had done some shopping before. Didn't think I could quite pull anything off. Didn't think I had the skill to build my own van. This was back in 2016. And I had been researching van life for years before that. I had found Bob Wells' Cheap RV Living blog, just the website, even before he was on YouTube. And I thought, okay, I really want to do this. Didn't think I had the skill to build my own van. This was before the no-build builds had been popularized by Bob and other YouTubers. So on the RV Trader website, I saw an ad pop up one night for this Roadtrek. And I had been looking for Roadtreks for a while. I thought they were really cool and retro, just really funky looking camper vans. And they were old enough, the ones I was looking at, that I thought maybe I could just swing purchasing one. And this one was at a dealer in Henderson. And I went there the day after this ad appeared. I was the first one there that day. And I toured it and drove it. And it was kind of big and a little bit scary. But I knew that if I didn't buy it, it was going to be purchased by someone else probably that same day. People were kind of lining up to view it. It wasn't just dealer hype. There were literally people waiting to test drive it. So I made an offer and bought it. I was able to get financing from my credit union that they were already partners with. And I bought this thing on kind of short notice. Probably not the smartest thing I ever did. Yeah, really not a wise decision, I guess, in retrospect. So it took time. I had to wait a couple days before I could pick it up. They had some more cleanup work to do on it, but I went down there, picked it up, and drove it home from Henderson on Highway 95 to my home in Las Vegas. That was one hell of a scary drive on the highway, and it was bumpy and rattly, and I wasn't really fond of highway driving anyway, and it was super busy. So after that, I kept finding excuses not to take it out. And I mean, I did get it to a mechanic, had it inspected. I thought it would need new tires. It did need new tires, but they couldn't tell. And this was actually a kind of a tire company slash auto mechanic. They looked at the dates, they looked at the tread. The tires were not at the end of their life by any means. It did turn out that they had some hidden dry rot. And when I finally started using it a few months later, I had kind of a scary blowout of one of the tires. That's kind of fodder for another video. But after that, I just found every excuse in the book not to go out. I was really busy with work. I had shit going on with my ex-husband. I was being stalked by my ex-boyfriend. That's part of the drama that I didn't want to talk about in this video. It was just kind of a weird-ass time in my life. So I let that poor RV sit for a few months before I finally got the courage to start going out on day trips. I did eventually start going out on day trips. I drove it to Death Valley, Tacoma, well, not really Death Valley, but Tacoma, California, to the China Date Ranch. Just for the day. I also drove to Laughlin, to Big Bend of the Colorado River State Recreation Area. Just slowly but surely, I got better and better at driving it. There was some drama. I had a few months where I chased check engine lights. All kinds of stuff had to be done. And overall, I mean, I kept saying, I love this van, and I did love it. I loved being introduced to sort of a nomadic lifestyle, even though I was just a weekend warrior at that point. But Faith, or Leap of Faith, I called her Leap of Faith, Faith for short. She was a money pit. I had to replace those tires. I had to replace the water pump. I had lots of bills chasing the check engine lights, which by the time I was done with that, that motor was perfect. A lot of the RV components inside were the ones that were failing. I had a problem with a brake light that went out because it wasn't the van chassis, and the brake lights were kind of built onto that fiberglass body, so my mechanic wouldn't fix them. I went to a place that sold newer Roadtreks. They couldn't find the part of the old brake light, and so they didn't want to look. I went online to a forum. I got help from people on there. I found a mobile mechanic and they fixed it for me, but that was, you know, a lot of labor. The external storage area, were famous for having hinges that would rot and fall off. Yep, one day a door fell off. Plus, I had to pay for storage because I got ticketed having that on the street in front of my house. I mean, it was kind of legal, sort of legal to park it there, but it was a small cul-de-sac. I had to kind of overshoot and park it slightly in front of my driveway, so I got ticketed for blocking my own driveway. BS, but I ended up getting storage, and that cost money. And there was some other stuff. So after 3 months, the last straw for me was when the side door that you get into the rear of the van, they didn't have sliders because it was a fiberglass body. It was just a door that opened and shut. The lock was ancient, and it got to the point that the door was sticking. I was having trouble getting in and out of the back. That was the only in and out point to the back. It didn't have any cargo bay doors in the very back of the van because it had an emergency exit window there that you weren't supposed to open. And I didn't want to have to climb in and out of the driver or passenger side to get in and out of the baback. And I looked and looked online trying to find out how to get that lock fixed. And it wasn't just the lock, it was the whole mechanism. I would probably have had to have a new door done. I gave up. And I told myself, hey, if you're going to be spending this much money repairing this old van, you might as well just get a new one that will last you many years. Class B RVs, yes, there would be depreciation, but they retain their values a lot better than any other RV. And that's where I made the decision to sell Leap of Faith. And I bought Hope, which was a new Winnebago Travato. And that happened, I guess that would have been 2019. And on June 1st, 2019, 3 months after I bought that Travato, I was involved in a total loss accident because some bitch decided to drink and drive. But I'll tell you about that in another video. For now, here's a photo montage of the happy times I had in Faith, and then the final little shot of me saying goodbye. Goodbye, Faith. Mike, the driver, is in there. He just started her up, and he is going to pull away and drive her to Georgia.